I tell people sometimes that I have a brother who doesn't exist, and they're like, well, what do you mean doesn't exist?
I have an skateboard, so I get stopped by the police for that. And they always ask for my ID. I tell them I don't have it. Social security number, I tell them I don't have one. So they end up just running my name and my birthday, and nothing ever comes back. And I have to explain to them why I don't have, why I'm not in the system. And I always thought I was probably the only person that didn't have a birth certificate. It just makes me feel stuck.
Ripped her open to get the baby out and pulled him out before he choked to death on blood. And that's how Dylan came into the world.
I can't get a job, can't get health care, I can't go to school if I want to, I can't do anything like that. People usually say, at least you don't have to pay taxes.
So all your brothers and sisters, they all have to have their birth certificates. Yep. Each and every one of them, except you.
Except for me.
Why?
I'm not sure exactly why.
And we found a great midwife named Susan Claypool. She put it on Stacy to take care of it. And I don't know why Stacy didn't file the paperwork. I just don't remember. We had all this money saved up, had a van, we set up beds in the van, we were going to travel for the summer, check out Oregon, different places, and move to Oregon. So we were gone from San Francisco for 3-4 months, and it never gotten taken care of, the birth certificate.
The early years were really hard because we were living in a van, but it was a lot of fun, and my parents never really let us know how poor we really were. We had no idea. We just thought we were traveling and having a really good time. When people hear the story, they're shocked and they can't believe that, my family let this happen, and it's very shameful for all of us, and that's why it wasn't talked about. That's why it wasn't shared with the church when we were growing up. It wasn't shared with anyone that was outside of the immediate family.
We didn't think about, hey, Dylan doesn't have a birth certificate. Maybe we should take care of this before we leave San Francisco, before we move back to Virginia. We just didn't do it. We smoked a lot of pot back then, I'll be honest with you. We did.
Damn hippies. Just kidding. I'm not going to hold a grudge against anybody about this. It wouldn't do it any good to just sit around and blame my parents for not taking care of it.
Well, in 2010, my stepdad went to prison, and I was not at the house. I had already grown up, so had my brother Aaron. We were both out of the house, and Dylan was left there, and he couldn't leave. He was basically trapped, and he was left to really pick up the pieces of, my mom's pain of my dad being gone and all of the younger kids, and still trying to work. And I think that all of us really took him for granted during that time.
I've worked with my dad for most of my life, and he's a carpenter, so I've picked up those skills, hardwood floors and things like that. I contacted the people in California I needed to, Vital Statistics, and got all the information I needed from them to apply for a delayed record of birth. And I figured out pretty soon into the process that I didn't have what they wanted. I try to do something with it and it doesn't pan out, and it makes me angry, and I don't really have hope for it. And then there's other things that, I have a lot of friends who want to help me with this and give me ideas, and it gives me hope when they're hopeful. Being around people that think it'll happen, I guess, makes me hopeful. But I've been trying for so long without any success at all that it is hard to be hopeful for it ever really working out.
I didn't know either.
I noticed at the documentary, I was thinking about, on driving on the way there, we all get together for these big events in our lives, like a graduation or a marriage, stuff like that. And I realized driving into documentary, we've never gotten together for anything for Dylan. He's never had a big event that the family came together to support him for. And the documentary was really the first time that we'd all been able to support him in something. And it made me sad. It made me really sad to think that, you know, he's been there for all of my special moments. And he just hasn't had those big special moments in his. And I want him to experience those things.
You know, my son's 24 years old, and he can't drive a car. He can't legally go into a bar or buy any beer. I mean, not that he's a drunkard or anything. I mean, but just he's not able to do the things someone his age are able to do. And it kills me.
I don't take the things that do bring me joy for granted at all. My family being a big part of that. I think we're a strong family.
For all the opportunities that he's missed so far, the world's missing out, because to have Dylan be in your class or to be your employee or, you know, anything like that, it's just going to be a joy. He was just the funniest, goofiest kid growing up. He was so creative. He loved to draw, paint, build things with Legos. He would draw and do the weirdest things. He's always just been a character like that. The way he dresses and the clothes he picks out, it's always been very like costume. Like when Dylan gets dressed, his body is a canvas for his creativity and for his art. And he would wear like pots on his head and aprons. Dylan exists. He's awesome. He's a great guy. The people that you think you know in your life, you think you know what they have going on, there's things like this going on that you don't know. Uncomfortable silences and the things that you think you aren't supposed to talk about are some of the most important things to talk about. Chances are someone else has had a similar experience. Dylan exists.